Alright, I just had to flick the switch and put on the camera and talk to you guys about something very, very important. Hey, how's it going? My name is Vincent and I've been a professional guitar player and guitar teacher for like 10 years now. And there's this one thing that keeps occurring, especially with beginner guitarists, which I think is kind of a problem. Let me just put a disclaimer here that you can spend your money any way you like, but I don't believe that you should ever buy a guitar online, ever, period. Especially acoustic guitars. Don't buy them online. Now you're probably thinking, man, who's this guy? And why does he think he can tell me what to do? You're absolutely right. If you want to go ahead and buy a guitar online, be my guest. However, I would highly recommend against buying a guitar online, and this is why. You see, when I bought my first acoustic guitar, it was kinda out of a necessity because I used to borrow other people's acoustic guitars for acoustic things and I never had an acoustic guitar of my own. So we had to change that. So I was in the market for an acoustic guitar and I needed one fast. So what I did was I went to my local guitar store and turns out they had a lot of acoustic guitars. And you know what, I just decided to spend the whole day in the guitar store and just play almost every single one of them to see what would fit my budget, my needs, and what I really liked. And of course there's also some experts that work in the store that can help you with any problems that you might have. So pretty much what I did was I walked into the store and I said, hey guys, how's it going? I need to get a new acoustic guitar. Can you please help me find one? So sure, you know, we talked a little bit about the budget that I had and some of my needs and some of the things that I wanted and that I looked for in an acoustic guitar. And then they just started grabbing some off the wall and they handed it to me and I started playing. And I think this is a crucial moment because when you start playing on an acoustic guitar and you have a blank slate, when you know what you want and you know what you need and what you're looking for in an acoustic guitar, then that's actually where your journey starts. So for me personally, I didn't really want to know what brand the guitar was, what price range. That was not important to me at all. What was important to me is how the guitar plays and how the guitar feels under my hands and how the guitar sounds. So eventually, after a couple hours, we just ended up with three of which I thought were the nicest acoustic guitars they had in the store at the time. And then I just started doing a shootout, like play a chord here, grab another guitar, play the same chord over again, and you know, just keep trying and see what I like best. And well, eventually I ended up buying this acoustic guitar that same day in that same store over any other acoustic guitar that they had. This is my Eastman AC120CE. This is not a very expensive guitar, especially not for acoustic. But you know what, I just thought, hey, this plays nice, it sounds good, this is what I need at this time. Let's check out how the guitar sounds. And I think at the time I paid around 700-800 euros for the guitar. And funnily enough, this was the guitar that I chose out of my top three. Those other guitars were, I believe, a Taylor, which would have cost me around 2,300 euros, and a Martin guitar, which was even more expensive at the time. But there was just something about this guitar that made me choose this over those other more expensive guitars. So you know what, it just goes to show. You don't have to buy the most expensive guitar in the store because it might not be the right guitar for you. And this is really what my story is actually about. For me personally, this also goes for electric guitars. Alright, we're back. My camera died. So as I was saying, the most important thing about a guitar is how it plays, how it feels in your hands, and how it sounds. These are three factors that you can never really gauge before having the instrument physically in your hands. And that is why, especially for acoustic guitars, I would never recommend buying one of them online. So to even further my point, eventually I started needing some other things from my acoustic guitar. I started touring, and eventually you just need some better equipment if you're on the road every day for weeks on end, and you just need your instrument to perform well. And having a great instrument also helps you to perform well. So pretty much the whole journey started all over again, and I started looking for an acoustic guitar with, well, more budget, with other needs, and also with other wants. So what I did was I went to another guitar store, which is coincidentally the largest one that we have here in the Netherlands, and I brought along a friend of mine who actually provided me with the same experience that I had previously. I just sat down on a chair and he said, well, why don't you try this? And I did. So eventually we just hung out there all day, and I just started playing like over 50 different acoustic guitars just to try them out and to see what would fit me best. And the idea was exactly the same. Like, I didn't really want to know what type of guitar it was, how much it cost. I just wanted to know what feels good, what plays good, and what sounds right. The one thing that I knew beforehand was that I had a preference for Martin guitars. So my friends started handing me Martin guitars left and right, and I tried every single one of them, and eventually I settled on one. But the way it happened was pretty strange. So I picked some of my favorites and I picked some of my least favorite, and it turns out that a bunch of them were the same guitar. So some of them I really liked, but some of them, which were the exact same guitar, I didn't really like. So it turns out that even though it's the same brand, in this case Martin, it's the same model, in this case a 0028 Reimagined, it's the same wood types, it's built in the same year, it's probably built by the same people. There's always differences in how a guitar feels, sounds and plays, always. So eventually I settled on this one, which is, as you might have guessed, a Martin 0028 Reimagined. And just to clarify, this is just a 0028 Reimagined by Martin. I'll play the same thing on this guitar so you can have a reference for how this one sounds. There were two of the same guitar, which I bought, that I did not like at all. And we're not talking about cheap guitars, we're talking expensive guitars here. So the thing is with guitars is, it's a very personal thing. And I believe it's very important that you have this connection to your instrument. Because if you don't, eventually you won't like playing it, and you won't be playing it at all. So the last thing I would like to say again is, I'm not the one that can tell you how you should spend your money or which guitar you should or should not buy. However, I do believe that it's one of the most overlooked things and one of the most important things when purchasing your new instrument. You have to play it first. Otherwise you could be spending big money on something which eventually you don't like at all. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you really liked this one. If you did, please let me know by clicking the like button and subscribing to the channel. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please also leave a comment telling me just that. You can also check out my Instagram at VVVGuitar, where I post daily videos about playing guitar and doing gigs and trying out different guitars and getting some sick guitar tones from my amp and pedals, or just modeling some Line 6 patches and everything. If that kind of thing interests you, be sure to follow me on Instagram. Having said that, guys, I hope this video was helpful for you. Happy holidays, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.